than be in it. Because the director's always busy and always working and thinking.
You're always involved.
Yeah. You're rolling.
He's ready to go.
Good morning, John Badham, and welcome to Dallas.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Isn't it pretty out here?
Yeah.
This is terrific.
It is, really. I saw your film in Los Angeles at the premiere, and I felt, as many people do, that you have the blockbuster hit of the summer for people who love action. They just won't find any more than this film. But by the same token, John, as I watched it and sort of analyzed it as we were going along, I thought, this had to be an extremely difficult film to make. Would you say it's your most difficult film?
There's no question that there are a lot of sleepless nights here and trying to wrestle with all of these problems. How are you going to shoot helicopters flying 10 feet off the ground through downtown Los Angeles and in between the buildings and around? How are you going to do it safely so you don't hurt anybody and plan it all out? How are you going to get F-16s flying over Los Angeles when the government won't give you an F-16 and won't let you use one, and all you can get is little models out of the toy store? And every scene, it's not enough to just do it once. I mean, you and I will do this interview once, but in a typical scene in Blue Thunder, I might have to go out and shoot the helicopters. Then I might have to go and shoot the actors sitting in the helicopter on the ground, then the actors sitting in the helicopter up in the air. Then I might have to put them in front of a process screen and do it again. And we just would never get through with this. There was one sequence that took me a good year to complete, from the time I started it to the time it's over, and it probably takes up 5 minutes in the movie.
Which one is that?
This is with the Arco Towers and the F-16s and all the things that go on there. I don't want to give them away.
No, but people will know when they see the film.
Oh, they'll know. They'll know, and you may even appreciate how difficult it was, but that's not the point. It's not for the audience to worry about how difficult it was. It's just for them to have a good time.
Exactly. How do you, John, especially now since the accident on Twilight Zone, how do you now, as a director, make that judgment call of when it's too risky and when you've got to press on with it?
You have to do it the way you always did it. You use your good common sense. And you can look at something and you say, that's too dangerous. We can't do that. That's just silly. And some people forget that they're dealing with human lives. They think it's like a big Tinker Toy, a big erector set, a video game. But it's not. I mean, we're dealing with people's lives here. And so you get a stuntman with you and you treat him as a sensible person, and you say, this is what I'd like to do. How can we get this effect? You know, if I want to see somebody falling off a 900-foot building, well, clearly nobody is going to be able to fall off a 900-foot building, but how can we make it look like somebody is doing that? And how can we do that so we don't hurt anybody? And in this movie, we talked a lot between the pilots and myself, and how are we going to make these helicopters do this thing? And is this safe? Is this part of it going to be safe? And they say, well, it's not safe doing it this way, but it is safe if you do it this way. And it will look just as good. And sometimes I would do tricks with the camera to make something look more dangerous than it really was. But you always have to remember, we're not curing cancer here. We're just making a movie. We're just telling a story. So no story, no movie is worth hurting anybody, even if it's to cut their finger or, God forbid, break their arm or something. That's just terrible to happen.
John, of course...
It looks just fine. There's no problem. It's much better.
Okay.
Go ahead.
John, of course, people will be thrilled with the action, and that's the thing that just keeps everybody on the edge of the seat. But there is more to the film than that. There is, I hate the word message, but what what do you want people to get out of the film other than having a rip-roaring good time?
You know, there was a novel written in 1955 by George Orwell called 1984. And in 1984, George Orwell talked about Big Brother spying on us, Big Brother flying past the windows in helicopters, and the thought police snooping in on what was going in inside our houses. And at the time, everybody thought, well, this is complete science fiction. It's 1983 now, and 1984 is only 6 months away, and the reality of that novel of 30 years ago is very frightening. How we have kind of given over our privacy. How every time we write a check, every time we make a phone call, every time we charge something at the store, all that gets recorded on computers. All of that information is in there in these computer banks for people who want to use it. And very often it gets used in ways that I don't think any of us planned. And we've given up our privacy without even realizing that we've given it up. It's kind of a bloodless coup. I think maybe when we were kids, we imagined that if the commies took over, they'd come in and they'd take over the town and all of that stuff. Well, it was never like that. All the invasion of our privacy and the taking away of our freedom has been just bit by bit, and we don't even know it. So that's sort of underneath the movie. That's one of the themes of the movie, not what the movie is lecturing you about, but it just is saying that that bureaucracy sometimes puts too much dependence on technology and too much hope that weapons and surveillance systems are going to bail us out of our problems, rather than depending on our own good mind, which is really what is going to help us with our problems.
John, you have another movie coming out, WarGames.
Mm-hmm.
Will be actually they'll eventually both will be on the screen at the same time, because I'm sure that that this film will still be playing when WarGames comes out. WarGames kind of gets into this same theme a little bit, doesn't it?
They're very similar here. I mean, WarGames is about a young boy who's a computer genius who's trying to get into one of the video game company's computers so he can get their new video game for Christmas. And by accident, he gets the phone lines get him tapped into the Pentagon's WarGames computer. And he thinks he's playing a video game, and he almost starts World War III. And it has a lot to say about nuclear technology and nuclear war, and how you can't win one of those kind of things. And it has a lot to say, again, about the dangers of bureaucracy and technology, overdependence on technology.
Is it as much an action film as Blue Thunder?
It's probably more of a people film, I suppose. It's not as much action. It's tremendous fun. And the audiences that have seen WarGames so far just go crazy over it. I mean, they were in Houston last week. I thought they were going to tear the theater apart at the end of the movie. They had such a good time.
John, if we could just for a second talk about this year's Academy Awards. Did you honestly feel that Gandhi was the best picture?
Well, I thought Gandhi was a wonderful movie, and it was so admirable that they could get it made, and they had worked on it for 20 years. Me, I just like E.T. I mean, I thought E.T. was a terrific movie. I thought it was a very difficult one to make and conceive, and I thought that Spielberg was very deserving of an award. But we could probably argue this one back and forth and never ever make everybody happy about it, because Gandhi was about a very wonderful man and a subject that deserved to be told and was told beautifully. But I really had a fondness for the story in E.T.
I did too, and yet I'm not a member of the Academy. But were I a member of the Academy, I don't know how I would have voted. I mean, I would have been really torn. I think, though, I probably would have voted for E.T.
Well, the lead actors sure looked alike.
Right. Wonderful comment. Many people think there is a conspiracy against Spielberg in the film colony, be it jealousy or whatever. Do you think that there is?
I think that most of the film colony don't go to movies. And I think that they don't have anything in common with the people that do go to movies, and Stephen makes pictures for people that do go to movies. Most people that go to movies are 20, 19, 18 and under. The median age is about 19. The people that vote on movies for Academy Awards, the median age is 55. Now, the only time they go to the movies is when they go down to the Academy Theater and they see the Sunday afternoon screenings. And I don't want to say the people there are old, but there is a nurse in attendance at all screenings.
Are you serious?
And you never know what'll happen there. So they don't understand the kind of movies he makes, and the fact that they make hundreds of millions of dollars and people love them. Well, they're not serious enough. Let's make something really boring. That must be the... Let's make it that'll put you to sleep. That must be a good movie. And if it's exciting and fun, well, that can't be any good. You know, Raiders of the Lost Ark, not a mention. Yeah, I mean, my goodness, that movie is so much fun and so terrific. It irritates me. I mean, I had to send Stephen a telegram after the Academy Awards and say, well, I suppose I'm going to have to buy you the Oscar, you know, and get a little statue for you because you deserve it more than, you know, more than anything this year.
I'll be glad to chip in. Tell Stephen I'll be glad to chip in. You don't feel then that there's any sort of personal vendetta against Stephen?
I never heard anybody say, I mean, how could you say a bad thing against him? He's one of the nicest people. I know some people you can say some bad things about, but he's not one of them.
One last question, John. There's going to be a sequel to Saturday Night Fever. Of course, you directed the first one. You got an Oscar nomination for that.
Oh, bless you. I wish I had, but it's okay. I knew you were beautiful and smart and
it's
intelligent.
in your bio that you got a nomination.
Oh, well, wait till I fix that.
Okay.
I'll have to put in there that I won it.
Okay. All right, so scratch that. You did not get an Oscar nomination, but you did direct Saturday
I was totally
Night Fever.
neglected, as a matter of fact, if you want to know the truth.
All right, now
The
we
movie
have...
directed itself is what they thought.
But the sequel that Sylvester Stallone is directing, also starring John Travolta again, did you have any interest in doing a sequel?
No, I didn't. I said I did that already. I made that movie, and I didn't really want to do a sequel. I want to do something new, and it's no fun for me to do something that I did before. But I thought it was real smart of them to get Stallone, because he would bring his own kind of approach to the movie, and it would give it a freshness that maybe it wouldn't have had if I had done it. It would that whole kind of thinking that he has give a whole new credibility to Travolta. So I think it's going to be a fun movie, and I think they were real smart to ask him after they talked to me.
Do you agree with the people who are still saying that Saturday Night Fever is the best thing Travolta ever did?
Oh, I agree with it. There's no question in my mind that it's the best job of acting, and John is a wonderful actor. But that part was real close to him. He was brilliantly directed. Whoever, oh, whoops. No. And yes, I agree with that statement.
Well, John, again, it's nice having you in Dallas, and I think you're going to have a terrific summer, what with Blue Thunder and WarGames both out with your name on them. Should be a great year for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mom.
3, 4, we don't want your fucking war. And you go, all we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying, bummer, bummer, here come the pigs, go limp. started sticking daisies in the barrels of the pigs' rifles. It was so out of sight. A truly loving yet revolutionary act. Oz grokked that on the first trip we took together. I took the other half of the tab. I saw the word cuisine floating on the ceiling. It was so spiritual. I came to like this cosmic understanding of a Lipton flow-through tea bag. Janie, be sure you strain out all those seeds. They give you a headache. You're gonna love this grass. I get such great ideas on it. I got this idea, see, where there was like this person who was stoned, who like gets this great idea, and then I realized I was the person who was stoned, who had got this idea about this person. I couldn't remember what the idea was. I wrote a letter about it to the Free Press. A lot of freaks really identified. Oh, TV is just getting heavier and heavier. Let's just watch it.
A treatable phenomena really can't be readily answered. We do think that the younger treatment population moving down into the early to mid-30s might be an indicator that the DUI population contains not just people who go out and get tipsy on Saturday night and get arrested, but contains a disproportional number of alcohol abusers. But this is a hypothesis that we're interested in doing research on.
Okay. That'll do it, Jimmy.
Well,
What's the matter?
it says the tape has ended, but it really hasn't.
Probably got some leader
That's
on
all
this.
right.
It's probably a warning.
Yeah.
It's probably a warning device that
we're-
it's time to.
Yeah.
We're all right. We're all right.
Okay, was that a little better on the second go round?
Yeah, it might have been just as good on the first.
Okay.